Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Couch Cat Podcast. This is Season 2, Episode 8. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan, also known as Couch Cat Paizen in Game, and I'm joined by fellow co-host, the only other co-host, Alan, also known as Crazy Fi in Game.
Hello.
Hello, Alan. Every time. I can't stop reacting to it. And before we get sidetracked, because it happens all the time,
Yes.
this episode is an overview of SimpleMMO during the month of August. So, for longtime fans and listeners, our podcast has been the core, or at the core of our content, and that's still going to continue. But we've decided to shift gears and do a monthly release of the podcast that encompasses everything SimpleMMO for that particular month. And as many of you know, for August, it was quite busy and quite lucky in that regard with the community event for 2022. So again, this episode is just going to cover the community event itself, some major updates that have happened during August, and some other news related to SimpleMMO and the staff of SimpleMMO. But before we get into that, Alan, how are you doing tonight? Welcome to our actual studio.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm excited to knock out another podcast. I've been having fun with the streams, but getting back to what we do as a core, it's fun. I'm excited.
That's right. And if you're new here, you're discovering us, or you're just been listening to the podcast, we do stream twice weekly when life doesn't get in the way, because this week's pretty busy. And at the time of recording, it is the 29th of August. But we generally stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time. And you can learn all about that on our website or at our YouTube channel, which can be found through our website. But more on that later. Anyway, Alan, as you can agree, August was a good time to be playing SimpleMMO.
Yep.
It's like any other MMORPG, whether it's browser-based or not. When an event rolls out, that's when you're going to get your large influx of players, either new or returning, which is fun for everyone in the community if you have friends who've just kind of walked away from the game. But this event in particular, it's the second event, if I'm not wrong, Alan, which I could be. It's the second ever community event of SimpleMMO. It's the community event for the year of 2022. Happens once a year, and it's where the staff of SimpleMMO pulls submissions from the community. And you'll see on our YouTube and our blog posts where the staff actually had official announcements in game and on their official Discord server of asking for pets, NPCs that you can encounter, and other unlockables or rewards from the event itself, and to include what the event currency should be when you're stepping, what the rare node is, and what the mats are. Yeah. So at every level, including the details of these items and the inscription and naming convention, is pulled from the community. Now, everyone gets chosen, but the ones who do have, bragging rights, and you can't really deny that. And Alan, if you don't mind, we'll get right into it.
Let's knock it out.
So this community event started on the 5th of August. And unlike other events, the community event runs longer because there's a lot more content packed into it. So this ended actually a couple days ago, the 26th of August, Alan. And I'm sure you're just like me. Even with the weekly streams, you still earn enough to get something, but you definitely don't earn enough to get 2 or 3 things.
Yeah. Yep. I'm right there with you.
Yep. And, there are submission reviews from current, or not current, but previous content we've created. We really fell in love with a lot of the submissions, but particularly like the Slime Mage as a pet and things of that nature. But overall, it was a cool event. There's a lot of cool submissions, a lot of artists we know personally and have never heard of before, making rounds with like 6 submissions. But yeah, so you had plenty of time to grab something. Whether you're super casual, you're new, because if you're new, you can just ignore the game and step. And, returning players or completionists, Alan, from the global chat
Yes.
saying they're getting everything, whether that's from stepping marathons or buying everything and ruining the market.
It
So
is wild. There's like over 20 some items, I believe.
yeah,
And to think that someone could step or, I mean, it's probably going to be buy everything realistically. That's
yeah,
insane. That's a lot of dedication right there.
yeah, that is super insane. But again, like any other MMO, it makes the community feel hyped, like especially in being in global chat and stepping more than usual and seeing these people engage in global chat and be like, wow, there's people who are, they don't know it, but they're creating lore around this event from being like Dark, right?
Right.
Fan of the show, comes to our streams all the time. He is creating lore by trying to get everything he can, no matter how he gets it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Alan, I wanted to go over the conclusion of the event and get your thoughts on it, and I'll share mine after. But I want to put you on the spot first, and hopefully you're prepared. And if you wouldn't mind sharing us, maybe not exactly a review, but your particular feelings about the community event for 2022.
Yeah. So I gotta say, I was kind of bummed with the mats. So for those that don't know, and to collect these tokens, if you will, currency for the event, you got to step, and then you'll come across these mats, and then you use your shovel or whatever to dig out these mats, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you collect them. I was kind of bummed by the choice of the mats, the tiers, and then the trophies. There wasn't really any theme to them,
Oh,
right? Just some tiers and trophies. And
I've converted Alan.
well, I will say, like, I don't care about like the rewards, right? I don't think you should have necessarily a overall picture theme for them for a community event. I do think you should make the mats make sense as to why you're collecting them, right? If you're going to have a community event, build some lore around it, build a story around it, like why you're collecting these items, right? Instead of just, hey, you're collecting these items for these rewards.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to me, right? Like, I really like the rewards and all of what the artists have done. I want a little lore behind these mats, and like, why am I collecting tiers? Why am I collecting trophies? What's the connection between the two? To me, there's
Right.
nothing there, unfortunately.
And
And
that's we've talked about this before, and you actually brought this up when I questioned it. It's like what draws a stable player in. So someone who's been playing consistently, you have to have lore. Like at the end of the day, people who play MMORPGs, even if it's like New World from Amazon, where it's like a snippet of background story, that keeps concurrent players interested in these events that at the end of the day, they're just grind fests, right?
right.
So, but yeah, tell us a little bit about more, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, on the topic of the mats, like the tiers, I thought that was great. It was super easy to collect tiers, right? Like the percentage that was set, like it's like every like 3 or 4 steps, I would find tiers. I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm raking in all the tiers. The trophies were pain to find. The last stream that we did got lucky, and I found 2 trophy nodes. I've never seen that happen before. All in 1 hour. That was wild. But yeah, normally it would take a lot of stepping to encounter another trophy node. And I'm one of those super casual players where I only do it I don't grind out the game. I don't grind out events. So it was really rough to try to get those trophies. So that was kind of, but whatever. Like, it is what it is. I get it. It's 3 weeks, right? That's why it's 3 weeks. So I completely get it. I like that it was 3 weeks too. I really enjoyed the timeline of it because there was a lot of content to rewards to find or to earn, excuse me. And I don't know. It was fun being able to play this game with the event happening for so long. I feel like a lot of players, if they don't create their own lore currently in game or like their own objectives in game, which is like some players really like that. That's cool. But if we, maybe we look at extending events out so they're a lot longer. Maybe 3 weeks is the actual standard. I think that would be kind of nice. But I'm not sure. I don't know. We'd probably have to look in. Well, Mike would look into that, not we. But I do like the idea that because all of August was just an event, which was great.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah. And I think that's really about it. It was your standard event, but it's always cool that the community gets involved and be able to do a lot of submissions. I mean, you could check out our submission video that we did when we covered all the Discord submissions.
Mhm.
Superb artwork across the board. I think it's awesome to be able to include players into events like that.
Yeah, and we have 2 videos. We have I can't believe we pulled it out of our ass, Alan, but we were able to review every submission that was publicly available and not submitted through the form. There was like a Gmail form, and then also review what made the cut. So very, very informative if you missed out. And it's actually kind of good to watch again because the next community event, it's going to reuse some of those as NPCs. So you can kind of get a sneak peek of what you're gonna encounter at least stepping next year. But Alan,
What about you?
yeah.
What do you think?
So real quick though, I really do want to say like I agree wholeheartedly with your take on the event length. I think it made the whole month more eventful. Even if it's like any other event in the MMO, like it peaks and then it dies
Right.
off, and then it becomes like who is selling the mats still.
Yep.
And I have a
Yep.
shit ton of mats still, but I think I'll just grab a second thing and call it. But it's got the ebb and flows. But I think it made the whole month more engaging with the game and the community and the content you can create from it. So
Yep.
I just wanted to kudos to you on that. But yeah, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I say this every time, Alan, but I labeled it as like being chaotic themed, as in like nothing visually or aesthetically makes sense.
Yeah.
Which, on one end, I do agree with Alan. Like the unlockables or the event rewards. Yeah, you don't really need a general overarching theme. I personally love that. Like that's why the Halloween and like the actual seasonal holiday events are my favorite because it makes sense to me what's in game for the most part. Twerking Santa. Anyway, but like that's all I have to say about it. Like nothing made sense to me. Like tiers, great. Inside joke, got it. Trophies on the back end of those tiers, didn't really mesh for me. What else? While during the stream, the artist for the game, Ubi, pointed out to us when we asked, the island art itself, like the place where you're stepping for the event, looked really awesome. Well,
Yeah.
apparently it's just a pack. Like it's like a background pack that was bought. So asset pack. So whoever did that looks cool. I liked it.
Yeah, it was actually really nice.
Yep. And this goes along with what you said, Alan. The grind for the most part was manageable. I felt like I was drowning in people's tears. Like I had so many tears. But trophies they felt ultra rare to me. Like I rarely, like if Kimchers, my wife, who doesn't even actively play the game, but she steps with us during the streams and stuff, if she didn't help me, like if she didn't give me her trophies, I would have been ASOL. Like I needed help with just the trophies alone. So if you're super casual like us, who enjoys engaging with the community and reporting about the game itself, you probably walked away with like no trophies.
Yeah.
And another thing, this is an interesting take I have, Alan. Tell me if I'm crazy or not, but I think specifically with the community event, even though polls from the community and anyone who has artistic ability and meets like the standard set can be put into the event. I think the event itself, from me looking at it, it was geared towards older players. There's especially some of the artists like Keban, right? They're either the item descriptors or some of the other unlocks or event rewards. Excuse me. There's a lot of inside jokes tied into like the naming conventions and the descriptions, and I think that may not be friendly to new players, or it kind of stops the new player being as even with the theme too being all over the place. It stops the new player from being as immersed within the event as possible.
Okay.
What do you think about that, Alan? Like,
Yeah, I'm curious. Can you give an example of one of the inside jokes? I'm going to call you out right here.
oh my god.
You brought it up. Are you prepared to
No, I
talk
don't. I
about
do
it?
not have. I don't have my list of
No.
and items.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, yeah. So it's fair. Like, obviously, the old time artists are going to put in their inside jokes because that
Mhm.
helps, get in like a chance to get selected for a submission.
Mhm.
So I mean, I get it, and it makes it more fun. I don't know if I'd say it's not new player friendly. I think it definitely helps, like the old heads coming back and grinding out the event, and
Mhm.
gives them a little laugh. I think it gives the opportunity for the new players, if they ask questions or if other players talk about in global chat or whatever,
Mhm.
so that they can learn these inside jokes and be a part of it, so they can feel like they're part of the community at large and the history of the community. So I actually think that in my opinion, I don't think it is a detriment or a deficit
Mhm.
to the new player. I think it might be even a good thing for the player or the new player, so that they can learn and get in on the joke as well.
Okay. Yeah, I see that too. I don't retract what I said. So I think it's a 50-50. I think,
Yeah.
like you said, it's a good opportunity. But for people who just don't, because they're a large part of the community does not go on Discord and does not use global chat.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
if they talk at all, it's within their pods, within the guilds they've joined. So yeah, I feel like there's just, and that's just how it is, right? But I feel like a lot of this, like the naming conventions and some of the descriptors just flying over people's heads. So
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
yeah, but I mean, you can get that with anything, right? I just wanted to
Right.
bring it up. I wanted to at least voice it. And then the last thing I wanted to say is, generally I'm a stats person, so if I'm going to get a pet, I'm going to get it because it's got the best like attack or excuse me, strength value. But this time around, I went with the Slime Mage as a pet. It leans heavily in the defensive strat or the defensive stat. And I got it because of the aesthetics, and it reminds me of Maple Story. So I just wanted to put that out there. But that's all I have, Alan, about the community event. Overall, it was a great event, and the length was perfect for it. But hopefully in the future we can see some more. We're not asking for like a revolutionary change, but just changes where something, the event is around a new mechanic or like an updated mechanic of the game, just so it's not the constant, okay, we're grinding for mats, we're getting to unlock, just to replace, especially, the seasonal events that are coming like back to back to back, which is fun, but it's like you're about to replace the pet you just grinded for like not even 30 days ago. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's my final take on it, Alan. If you have anything else before moving on to the updates.
No controversial opinions about the event?
Yeah, Ubi told me I had good faith in him.
Oh,
he was
no.
like, I'm not going to submit anything.
Oh, no.
I don't want to take a spot from a up and coming artist. I love the community. And then he freaking submitted something.
It got accepted. Yeah, that was not my. I let the record show that was not me trying to call out anyone. Okay,
Ubi. Nah, you're a homie, Ubi. But still, that was hilarious because I went on record like, yeah, man, he's going to take a seat, a seat back and blah blah blah. And then he freaking wait a minute, he uploads this cool as heck mage, and I'm like, freaking, you lied to me, dude. But
it was
no, that was
very clean mage.
That was more like a joke. I mean, nothing controversial, like you said. Like events can get boring. That's about it. If it's the same loop, like gameplay loop with each event, it can get boring. That's all.
Yep.
What about you, Alan? Were you holding on to something?
No, I have no
So
controversial
you baited me into a take.
Yeah, right. Got to start some drama, couch camp drama.
You really are a 100 Thieves fan. I can't believe it. So now we're moving on to the August game updates portion of the episode.
Yep.
Alan kindly went through the updates that happened this month and pulled what was game changing quality of life updates, or just just different in general that changes the way players play the game. So I
Yeah,
made you start first, Alan. But before I read the first one, what how did you select them? Like, I kind of just said it, but like, what was your
sure.
thought process in pulling from the updates?
So I was just looking for, yeah, like you said, like game changing ones. There's a
Mhm.
lot of different bug fixes across the board. Almost every single update had fix this, fix this, fix this, fix this, blah blah
I
blah
want to
blah
know
blah.
everyone. I want
Yeah,
to know them
like,
all.
and while those are great, like there wasn't any game breaking bugs
Hmm.
in the game, so I didn't really highlight any of the fixes that were made. In my opinion, maybe someone really had an issue with one of these bugs to fix. I don't
Yeah.
know. But anything that I felt like could be game changing and how people interact with the game or anything like that would be interesting. So I will say August, along with the the community event, was filled with updates. Right, we
Yeah.
have like 9 updates here that and there were more than 9 updates. I'll say that, but some of them were just straight bug fixes, so didn't even list them.
Hmm.
Uh, and for those who've been playing the game throughout the summer, you'll know that Mike has been super busy with real life situations or real
Hmm.
life stuff, right? Uh, that he wasn't able to update the game as much as we constantly see him
which
do.
which which ceased my weekly update vlog, because I was like, oh, in case anyone isn't on the Discord, they have a new way,
Yeah,
outside of in game. If you're cruising through our content, oh, they posted the weekly, collection of updates. Well, for last month, I had to like stop because there was just nothing.
yeah,
So now they're going to be included in the podcast.
yeah. And Mike, took care of everything that he needed to take care of, and so he could refocus back on SimpleMMO. And boy, has he come out strong! And just this entire month, update after update after update after update with some, I think, game changing. Maybe not, crazy like
Mhm.
version 9.0 with the guild updates, but still game changing features or changed or added or whatever to make quality of life changes or whatever it may be.
It made the game
Uh,
better.
yeah, it just overall the whole month of August was great for the game, in my opinion. So if you want to go off on the first one, let's do it.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and start. So on 1 August, version 11.9 dropped, and from 11.9, we have here guild co-leaders can invite other players to the guild, which is huge because the like Alan reference, the guild update was probably the biggest thing we've seen since playing. We've only been playing for like a year and some change, but that was huge. But it came pretty much bare bones. So
Yes.
it's nice to finally see that co-leaders can do something other than complain about the guild leader not doing anything, which is what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. So now
Um,
you have no excuse.
yeah, now I have no excuse, even though I check and I see we're weeks behind on accepting people, and I still blame Alan. But anyway, what's the next update, man?
Yeah. The next update was 5 August version 11.10. That pretty simple. That one was the community event started. So
Yeah.
5 August was when the event started, and he pushed out the update.
Hmm. And then 8 August was version 11.11. We have guilds can now cancel their own raids, which again, it's like these features are like, oh, I thought that was already included, added tabbed navigation to the bounties list. And you can view the bounties you have accepted and listed. So overall, great quality of life updates to the bounty system. It's a headache. You always have new players, including us when we're new. Like, how do we cancel a bounty? Where's my bounty? Like no one could
Yep.
navigate the bounty tab.
Yeah, I gotta say that was by far probably the number one question that folks were asking new
Yeah.
players specifically, especially about where did my accepted bounty go? I don't know who I'm supposed to kill now. So it's great to see that quality of life change right there. And then
Yeah.
the guilds canceling their own raids. I don't understand why someone would want to do that. Because my assumption is they're not going to get back the materials that they spent, the gold and the
Mhm.
PowerPoint or whatever it is, the orbs or whatever it is, to start the raid. So I
Things
don't
happen.
understand why.
Maybe they're bigger guilds and it doesn't really matter. And enough, not enough people can stay on long enough for the raid. or I started it ahead of time, and now I'm getting messages from my guild members, like the primary steppers, that they can't make it, and I don't want to sit here and do this alone because I'm not a solo player. So maybe they can just eat the cost and just cancel it.
I
But
guess
it's kind of the same thing
mean,
of just letting it roll anyway. But
yeah, exactly. Like, we might as well just let it roll at the point. I mean, the only thing I think of is like they choose the wrong place on accident, and they don't want to
yeah, that would
wait.
suck. Yeah,
An hour, 2 hours, 24 hours,
yeah,
maybe, and so they want
that's
to
a
make that
good
change.
that alone. We can just say right there, hands
Yeah.
down, that is probably the biggest reason.
Yeah, so if someone's doing a 24-hour raid and they want to cancel it, move it somewhere else. Yeah, so next one, 13 August, version 11.13, the avatar rules have been changed. So this is a huge one. So for any new players out there, you could do custom avatars and submit them in-game to be reviewed and then accepted. And it costs, of course, diamonds to get that. But you could just commission an artist. Yeah, nothing's free. You commission an artist, or you could draw your own art and then submit it as an avatar in the game. So some of the details have changed on what is required for avatars now. So the background and non-character details, such as items or objects in your little character picture, can be max of 2/3 of the full canvas. And it used to be that it could only be 1/3. So now you can have a lot more background to your picture, which is cool. However, backgrounds cannot be flat base colors, so no solid circles, stuff like that, which is interesting. I don't know why that's a requirement, but I don't know, it'd be interesting to find out. And then finally, the avatar's full body has to be visible for at least 2/3 of the full duration if the avatar is animated. So there's some crazy funky animations that you could do that people have done, and so to say that it has to be at least 2/3 of it has to be visible is cool. So yeah, that's that update.
And on 15 August for version 11.14, we have various bug fixes across guild wars and leaderboards. We had hidden attack message buttons on banned players for both the web app and mobile. And we had banned players now automatically get removed from their travel party, web app, and mobile from there. And then fixed issue where deleted accounts cause their party to crash, web app and mobile app. So a lot of things that were tied to the party feature that probably wasn't discovered until the party feature was rolled out. So
yeah, I would be pretty frustrated if a banned player was just sitting in a party.
That's funny. Like, how are you still here?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so 17 August. So this man was just pushing out updates almost like every 2 days at this point. Version 11.15. So legacy, the biggest one here is legacy players no longer automatically go in safe mode when they reach level 200. And I know quite a few legacy players were kind of upset about that, which do it yourself. There's a manual option. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it's interesting that was a feature that they would automatically go in safe mode to begin with. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you could prepare by, going safe for X amount of days.
Right.
But also maybe you just lose track of it. And
you'll learn.
You're using your night, your job EXP, and then suddenly you're, because back when you're low level, your job can actually level you up. And it's like you wake up and you have like 13 notifications from No-Chan in Riptide. And you're like, all right, pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, they're legacy players. They should know better by then. Yeah. Like, that's
heard from Alan. You heard it from Alan first. You should know better. Never legacy.
Yep. Yep, you deserve to get killed if you don't go in safe mode. That's your fault.
Oh my god.
I think safe mode should be an opt-in function across the board, not an opt-out function. It's harder to opt out, easier to opt in.
Sure. Now, a couple days later, on the 22nd of August, version 11.16 dropped. You can now attack any player in a guild war without any level limits if they are inactive for at least 10 minutes. This was previously set to 2 days. So, again, opens up more players to be attacked in a guild war, which is generally justifiable. Also, there was improved storage depositing, more inventory improvements to come very soon for both web and mobile app. and then more bug fixes. But that's it. That's for 22.
I like this Guild War update. So now you can just slaughter those super low levels. Because
The only ones you can.
Yeah, it was frustrating to when we used to do wars, right? Where a guild would have like 20, their top players that we could attack would be, 20,000, 15,000 above, whatever. And then all the other ones were locked behind the PvP restrictions, 200 and below. That's frustrating because now I have no chance of winning this game. Like I'm going to get smacked like around, and there's nothing I can do. But now I can harvest on the low level players and bring joy and try to win the war. What can I say? I love it.
We haven't been in a war in like a very long time, so that's just all very subjective.
It's historic angst, if you will.
Yeah, that makes sense.
28 August, version 11.18 came out, and this one was interesting. Mike increased the celestial and exotic drops on PvE and PvP kills by 100%.
Flooding the market.
That's huge. I wonder if drops weren't coming around as often for regular players. You always see the whales buy a crap ton of keys and then they open chests and everything, and then they get celestials all the time. You see it in chat.
They wait till like the rarity rate, right? Or
Yep. So they stack all the rarity, the rates increases, and then they get all the celestials possible. So the whales are getting all the drops, and I assume this is to help out us lowly folk, peasants over here, to get better drops. I don't know.
I think the market will be fine for now. I think this just helps out with free to play players. So
yeah,
I like it. And after that, a day later, which is today, because we are recording on the 29th of August, 11.19 dropped. And energy now increases automatically by 1 every 5 minutes instead of every 10 minutes. So now we have more uptick in player activity thanks to that change. And gold acquired from NPCs have been reduced for higher level players. So the gold acquired is now on a sliding scale, and the ceiling slowly decreases as you level. Higher level players will still get more gold than their lower level counterparts, but the maximum amount is smaller than pre-update. So yeah, no more farming gold through PvE methods to a greater effect.
I'm sure this had to do with Kane being like level 600,000 or something, like plus, like he's way up there, right? The highest level player.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine the amount of gold he was earning. I know someone in global chat said like he was earning like next to like $1 mil per NPC. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, that's freaking insane.
Yeah, it's broken.
I could understand why Mike fixed that because that's just flooding the market at that point. That'd be wild.
And another thing that's seen as a negative aspect for the whales out there, or who's refreshing their energy, the refill for energy through diamonds scales to how much energy you're refilling. So like, if you're refilling 1 point, it's not going to cost any, next to nothing. But if you're refilling, 20 plus or, even 10 plus, it scales higher and higher. So I was actually in our Discord today talking to Kasua, and Kasua was like, why did it get more expensive, Mike? What's wrong? Is everything okay? So didn't post that in our notes, but if you're paying to play and you're refilling your energy to blitz through levels, something to consider.
Yeah, this tightens up the reign of the whales, if you will. I think everyone. I know some people have been complaining about how pay to win folks get a lot out of this game. I think Mike just did a lot this month to reduce that to help the free to play players.
Maybe, because if you're willing to pay for browser-based MMORPG, you're going to keep paying. That's how I see it.
Fair. We'll see. Maybe, we'll find out.
Maybe it, reduces the amount of newer players constantly refreshing their energy to get ahead. Maybe. But
Yeah,
that's just my
yeah.
thoughts. Like, if you're going to spend money on this, you're going to spend money. But
That's fair.
you know, now Mike can buy an island instead of visiting one. So
Yeah, yeah.
but that's the update portion of this episode. Now we're moving on to other news of SimpleMMO, and we'll close out from there. So Alan, we like to cover news about SimpleMMO, and that of course includes official announcements by the staff. And so here on August 20th, the SimpleMMO staff grew bigger.
Yeah.
And two new, I wouldn't say, they're not new players, but two new SimpleMMO moderators were announced through the SimpleMMO official Discord. Wicked, the game admin, announced under a general announcement, and she said, "Please join me in welcoming two wonderful people to our SimpleMMO moderator team, Tilfia and Musette, who also goes by Moose, who has ascended from being advisors. So they were formerly advisors in game, and of course that carries over into the Discord server, and now they've been bumped up to the moderator team. Again, they're longtime players. Tilfia is like the highest level, free to play player is in like the 100,000s for levels. And Musette has just been, I feel like, has been an advisor forever. I don't know. Like, we quit, we came back, and there's an advisor. So good on them. That's the only other really news we have about on SimpleMMO. You can read. Oh, I was just going to say you can read more about it on our official blog post, and also I have their player profiles linked, so you can go check out their player profile if you're interested.
I was about to say that too. If you want to learn more about them, go check out their player profiles that we did on our blog site.
Read the blog, man.
Yeah,
come on, be a friend, But So two new mods. And the blog is a little cheeky, I say we got two new mods to watch over Keepin, because Keepin is like he's wacko sometimes,
the rogue mod.
He's the rogue mod. He's the rogue AI. So
yeah,
he's the Alexa in my kitchen responding to things I don't say Alexa with. I don't start sentences with Alexa. So do you want to know next month's weather forecast? No, I don't, Alexa. Stop talking to me. But that's the other news portion of this episode, and that is the episode in its entirety. It's a new format for us. I like it, Alan. What do you think? I don't know. Yeah. We piece it together. Moving forward, this is how we'll be doing our podcast. We'll be doing, again, a monthly roundup of, or an overview, we should say, about the updates and news of the game. And if there's an event, there's an event. But that is Season 2, Episode 8, Couch Cat Podcast. Alan, do you have any closing remarks before we head on out of here?
No, I mean, feel free to join our Discord, where we have a great community going on. We get to bully Keeban every once in a while.
Yeah.
I appreciate all your support. Thank you so much.
Cool. And there's going to be a blog post about this, but this week specifically, Tuesday and Thursday on our streaming days, which we advertised earlier in the episode, we won't be able to. Alan's got some work stuff. He's traveling. And then my dad is finally visiting me to see my house. So, Alan's seen my house before my dad has. So that's pretty interesting. But so we're going to be busy this week, but next week should be back to normal. We hope.
Yep. 100%.
But yeah, Alan, our advertiser, Discord, our social media, our blogs, our YouTube videos, everything can be found at our website, couchcatpod.com. Head over there, view our content to your heart's desire, and leave us a review. We have a website, like internal to the website. You can leave a review. You don't have to log in. You don't have to join any service. Just go to the review tab, leave us a review directly on our page, and we shout them out during streams and other videos as they come in. So if you wouldn't mind, leave us a review. And of course, if you really love what you're hearing, you can, of course, support us by word of mouth, watching or digesting our content any way possible. And we have a buy us a cup of coffee donation tab set up on the website. So you can send just a few dollars our way. And of course, not mandatory, but greatly appreciated anyway. Thanks to Ace, who was our first donator. Ace is a OG from Couch Cat and Sword and Slime, which was my other podcast. So really cool of him. But yeah, that's the episode. We'll see you next time, whether that's a stream, a podcast, or a YouTube video, or in the Discord. But that's all I got. Peace out.
See you.